Hello and welcome to the next Demonicast here. And with us we have Bryan Dilionnis. Could you start with maybe introducing yourself a little bit?
Hey, yeah, for sure. I'm Bryan Dilionnis. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. It's a small island in the Caribbean, and I decided to move to the US in 2010, 2011, I believe.
Okay.
So right now I'm based out of New York City. And it's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, yeah. Really fun to have you on. Uh,
Thank you so much.
yeah, I listened to. I can't pronounce it like ego something something. I can't pronounce.
Ego carcinogenic.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. I can. I just say it all wrong. Yeah, I listened to
Oh
that
no,
and
no,
just fell in love. It was so good, so good.
that's
Uh,
awesome. How do you find it?
got recommended on YouTube, and I actually
Oh,
had
really?
heard. I think I've heard some of the other songs before because a friend in the metal community I'm a member in,
Okay.
called Headbang, showed me
Okay.
some of your music, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a one-man band." I was like, "What?" Because
Yeah,
you're
well, I do everything besides the singing part. I don't do the singing part, but
okay.
with the music, it's all me. Yeah.
All right, all right. And what did get you like into producing all of this? Like, what was the initial thing that got you into it?
Oh, all right. So the VHS project started because I'm a ghostwriter, as most people know. So I write music for a lot of bands that you guys know already. And I had a pile of songs left in there. By the time the pandemic hit, like the music scene kind of stopped, and nobody knew what was gonna be the next step. And a lot of music production just halted at the time.
Yeah.
And like I was left with a pile of songs. I'm gonna say like probably wow, like 75 to 100 songs,
Oh,
like completed songs that I had done. And those songs were like songs that needed some adjustments and didn't fit quite the vibe for certain bands. And I was like, I'm not gonna leave this here in my, in my drive, just like not publishing it or anything. So I needed to create a project where I can showcase all this writing style that I was coming up with. And it took its own turn, you know? So it developed into like an entire universe of exploring deathcore, technical death metal, and um fusioning like electronic sounds and trying to come up with like better riffs and better guitar parts and everything. So it just happened organically, and it made sense, and it all started in 2020. And and I decided to make it like a yearly thing where every year I'm gonna be releasing a new album from for VHS,
oh wow,
Wild
that's cool.
Horses. Yeah.
Holy shit, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like a yearly thing. And all the songs that I have, including new songs that I've continued to work on, will be released in every Violent Horror System album through the years. So, and we have that, and we decided to go full blown with distribution. So we have physical copies, and we're distributing it in the US too. So, that's what we've been doing. So,
That's really really cool. So you have been like working with music pretty much all your life then, or?
oh yeah, yeah. I've been doing this since I mean, I guess I picked up the guitar around 12 when I was 12 years
Oh,
old.
damn.
Yeah, so and then after that, I was musically classically trained, and then I went to college and then graduated, and I have a I went to do a master's degree with for music composition. So, and that really helped me get in touch and get connected with a lot of great people in the industry.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, this whole thing of me like doing a solo thing was never planned really. So it was more it was more like it came out of the left field, you know, for me to kind of do my own thing. It made sense. I also have my own band that I've been doing since 2006.
Oh,
It's called An Astonishing End, but it's not much different, but it's metalcore.
oh,
It's
oh,
not
really?
death. Yeah, so it's a metalcore band, and we've been doing that since '06. So yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that out. I don't think I've heard you actually.
Yeah, yeah. I don't post a lot about it. If you go through my Instagram, you probably see a post or two.
Yeah.
But on my Instagram, I try to keep it, promoting like the new stuff so people don't get confused. But yeah, the band's still active, and right now, like we've been doing like a lot of work. We're releasing a new album at the end of April, so been working on that, and a lot of other projects too.
Oh yeah, that's really really cool. What was has there been like any special bands that have inspired some of your music? Like,
I mean, to be honest, and you're probably not gonna believe this, but I barely listen to any music. Because I don't want to have like an indirect influence from any other band, and I try to keep it like as genuine and like as original as possible. So I try not to listen to a lot of music. It's inevitable, like listening to a few bands that pop here and there, but I guess to better answer your question, the metal bands that I was like when I was introduced to this kind of metal, I think the first two bands that I listened were Meshuggah and a band from Sweden as well. They're called Darkane.
oh,
I don't
no
know if
way!
you
I
know
actually
about
saw
Darkane.
Darkane this Friday live.
Oh, really? I saw they were on tour.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Peter, the drummer's Instagram. But yeah, and you're not gonna believe this, man. Like, that was probably early 2000s. I'm just gonna say like 99 and 2000, year 2000, when I first heard like that influence of metal in like what was Swedish metal. And it was from a compilation album that someone burned out and gave it to me,
Oh,
and it was
that's
called like Rare Tracks, and I didn't know what Rare Tracks was, and it ended up being like a Sugar album with the rarest tracks that they released, and it was just a copy of that and a mix of music from Darkane and Meshuggah, and that was my earliest influence that I had on metal. And of course, later on, I listened to At the Gates.
okay.
So I'm gonna say like I was heavily influenced by Swedish music, and yeah, that was like what forged me into like that direction of riffing and like doing more interesting riffs in songs.
Oh, that's really really cool. I'm actually
Yeah.
pretty funny that I saw Darkane this Friday, and I'm seeing
Okay.
Meshuggah live at the end of the month, and that's the two bands that influenced you. That's kind of hilarious, actually. What a
That's
coincidence.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Darkane
I,
was
I
really good live.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I've never seen them live, but I've seen Meshuggah live a couple of times. And they're still as great as ever. So,
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see Bleed live. To be honest. That,
oh man, it's impressive. It's impressive. It's
yeah, yeah.
impressive. They're really tight.
Oh yeah, I can
They're
imagine
really.
the drumming live too. Like it's
Thomas is insane. Thomas is a machine. Like to me, he's at the top five drummers of all time for me. He's definitely he's the best. Like one of the best.
so. Do you go
Honestly.
to a lot of concerts, or since you don't listen
No,
to a
I
lot of
don't.
music?
No, I actually caught them live by because I was playing a show in Philly and they
Okay.
were there playing too, and then I caught them like playing. But I had that opportunity to catch them live. And then I guess the other time was in Mexico at a festival that I
Okay.
was playing in, and then I caught their set and other bands too, but I actually went to see them because, it's Meshuggah, so why not?
So do you have any other hobbies outside of music that you do on the free time?
Wow. So I try to go to the gym as much as I can to stay in shape. Probably like a daily thing. But some days I'm so busy at the studio and I have like a pile of work that I really don't get a lot of time sometimes. Aside from that, I play a lot of pool,
Oh,
like
cool.
billiard.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, aside from music, that's like my two hobbies, just working out and playing pool.
I mean,
It's like
working out
my
is a
thing.
very good hobby. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's a de-stressor for me. So I really try to be as consistent as possible to do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's good to
And
be healthy. It's good to work
oh
out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
It's
sure, for
much better
sure.
to work out than do what I do. I play video games.
Oh, really? You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? I love video games a lot. But I think that they consume so much time.
Oh yeah.
Like, and if I get hooked by a game, I'll probably won't work for like a week or two. And that's why I'm a little scared. Like I've been playing here and there Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
Um, so and I was like, I mean, I guess it was during Christmas time, and I was like an entire week playing Overwatch nonstop.
Yeah, it's very
And I was
easy
like,
to
I
get
need
like
to
that.
stop.
Yeah, it's very easy to get heavily into it. Like now, it just dropped an DLC for Destiny 2, so I'm playing that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
and
Okay.
then I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I gotta do some reactions this evening, and then the clock is like, oh shit, because your time just runs away. You sit there
Oh,
like
yeah.
it doesn't feel like you spend any time at all, but then it's like in the middle of the night, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it goes by quick, man. You'll be surprised. It goes by quick.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for sure.
What else did I think about? Do you think you have any like particular strengths and weaknesses in
Well,
particular?
let's see. Well, I guess talking about strengths, I guess like I can write a lot of music in a short amount of time, and I barely experience like writer's block. Um, so I'm constantly working. So I don't know. My brain is kind of wired to doing this all the time in an obsessive way. So I think that's like my downfall, that I obsessed about music a lot, and I do this like all the time. People think that I take a break from this, and I really don't. So even when I'm at the gym, I'm answering emails. I'm always like thinking about like new music, or like talking to other people. I'm always involved in the music industry somehow, even when I'm not playing live or actually recording.
Mm.
So to me, I guess it's really hard for me to detach from the career, and the
Yeah.
music aspect of it. And I'm gonna say this, like, it's obsessive at this point. I have an obsession of working. I'm a workaholic. I put this first, and I guess like I've jeopardized a lot of things in my life to put music first
Mm.
and doing this, and it's always been my priority. So I'm gonna say that's probably like the the downfall,
Oh
of
yeah, a lot
being
of
dedicated.
sacrifices.
Oh yeah, for sure. And moving away, like moving away from home. I mean, for me, it's not that far. I move. It's if you take a plane, you can go back to Puerto Rico in 4 hours. So I'm just 4 hours away from my hometown in this, like in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But I decided to come here, and none of my family were here or anything. I decided to just make it happen here, and all my friends are still back there. I mean, some of them moved to Florida, and like years later, but I was just chasing it, man. Like it was like I'm just gonna go get it, and it's been an obsession ever since, man. Like I don't see myself taking a break. I don't take vacations or anything. I'm always working, and if I'm like vacationing, it's because I'm traveling to another country to play, and that's my vacation. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
an obsession.
as long as you love what you do, I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I consider myself lucky that I found something that I love that much,
yeah, I
and that
mean,
I never get tired of it. Obviously, there's a couple things here and there of the music industry that you're not gonna like. And there's gonna be like shitty situations everywhere, but it's part of the game.
mm,
It's part of the game. It's all about like staying positive and doing the best at the moment and keep pushing and pushing, and being responsible and being reliable and being a bro to other guys,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just know how to hang out and be cool.
Mm. Speaking about touring, how much do you tour? Like, and where do you tour? Have you been like
So
worldwide or?
we've mostly I mean, we tour a lot in South America, but a lot changed after the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, we were actually scheduled to hit Asia and Japan.
Mm,
But now, I mean, this is probably the first time I'm gonna be like disclosing the news. We're going to Japan in 2024,
ooh, that's
but it
awesome.
took yeah. So we're playing Japan 2024, and I took a break for like a year to really focus on marketing this stuff properly and putting out the material and making sure that people were listening, and bringing like a quality show, because at the time I got a lot of offers to bring like the violin horse system thing live, but I felt it was kind of rushed, and I want like a good production to go along with it. And right now we have 3 albums
Mm,
made, so I think we have a good assortment of songs to play live for people who enjoyed the first album or the second, and now the third, that actually I feel like the third blew up a lot more than the other two. So we're just focusing on quality right now. I'm way more active playing live with my band, with An Astonishing End.
mm,
And right now we're playing a lot more. But yeah, we have a lot of shit planned for this year. We're gonna hit Europe later in the year. Um, so we're probably gonna go with we're playing France, Spain, London, and a few other countries.
mm.
It's not gonna be like a full run, but it's gonna be like probably like a 12-day tour or something like that. And then we're planning on going next year, like with a more, um, like a more complete run
Yeah.
with us. So remember, guys, like we don't have like a record label funding none of this stuff. So we're funding it independently. And we have our crew and all the guys, but we want to keep it like independent. So we're doing all of this independently.
Yeah, that's crazy because it costs so much money to do this stuff, like touring
Oh
and
yeah.
everything,
Oh
logistics
yeah.
and everything. Uh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. I think we found a great system to do this longer. So and like as long as people go to shows and buy merch and you know support us, like either buying a ticket or watching our videos or sharing our music, I guess it helps. Even if you
yeah,
don't spend a dime on any other merchandise, just giving it a listen, sharing it to your friends, it helps a lot, independent artists, because record labels, they have the funds to put whoever they want in front of a lot of people.
oh yeah,
but not necessarily those are the best people that are out there. You know, I've seen a lot of underground bands working harder than signed bands. So, you know, it's a matter of people supporting what they really like. And
Yeah.
I consider myself lucky, you know, like I'm just appreciative of all the good feedback that we've had. You know, with An Astonishing and my
Yeah.
other band and me doing the solo thing. I'm just very grateful for, you know, all the great things and the support that we've got to keep doing this, you know, for many years and, you know, to keep bringing this to new audiences and keep touring. But for now, I guess to better answer your question, we're gonna be like more in the US as
Mm.
we've been doing this for the past 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So so yeah, so heavily in the US. And now that a lot of restrictions and a lot of other countries are open for us to go there, now we're like actually actively planning to go to these countries and, you know, spread the music.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some of your like what are your favorite song and your least favorite song that you have done?
Um, so okay, so I guess it depends because some songs that we I guess it has to do with the era because right now a lot of people are into deathcore, but then next month it's black and deathcore that's really like moving people, and some years it's metalcore. So it's really hard for us to keep track of what's gonna be next or what the
Oh yeah.
next wave's gonna be. Um, but I guess I'm gonna say like the first album was not like an album that was made thinking about anyone in specific. So it was just a hodgepodge of ideas and songs that we had left, you know, and we decided to put vocals on that, and then we threw that album. And then we saw that, oh, these songs are much better than these other songs, so we should go in that direction. So we started releasing more of the heavy stuff
Mm.
for the second album and leave out like the industrial sounding songs that we had on that album. And some songs that were more black metal didn't do that
Mm.
well on that album. So we try to stay away from um like doing black metal for certain parts, you know, or
Yeah.
certain albums. So we will have like a better, you know, better acceptance from the people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all about reading what's gonna be the next wave, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and staying ahead of the curve.
And I'm thinking like your personal like favorites, like your personally favorite song that you have made. Like,
Okay, so my personal, I mean, I'm gonna say Ego Carcinogenic. It's definitely my favorite. So I'm really happy that that song actually, like, kind of popped off from,
yeah.
you know, like from the algorithm. That song and Unshadowed, and the least favorite song I would say, uh hmm,
Yeah. I mean that must be really
probably
hard.
Deceivers. Probably Deceivers. That's a song from the first album. Probably that one
Okay.
or 666. I'm gonna say 666 actually. I'm gonna say that song from the first album was gonna be actually for someone else, and we ended up putting it in the album, but I didn't want it necessarily in the album, but
Okay.
we said fuck it and tried it. But I really I don't like that song. I wouldn't play that live necessarily.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually listened to Unshadowed earlier too. I thought we could listen to that as well. I'm just gonna try to like share the screen.
Oh yeah.
Really like this like slow intro. As I say that. Oh, the drums right here, yes. The guitar right here is also really, really cool. So cool. Super cool with the break in the middle with the calmness too. But you hear that guitar in the background a little bit too. So cool.
Yeah.
So awesome. I love the guitar right there. It's wow.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Really, really sick outro there with the guitar. Really, really sick. All right.
Yeah, that's one of the fastest songs from the album. I'm sure we have like 3 or 4 more that are really insane to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to like open this album with a shock factor and a really fast song, as fast as we can humanly possibly can play it. So yeah.
Oh yeah. That was really cool with like at the breakdown at the end there with the guitar
Yeah.
combined with the drums there worked so well together. So sick.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate
how's the music scene? You live in Sweden, right?
Yeah, I live in Sweden.
Awesome. All right. So have you gone to like underground shows in Sweden? How's the scene in Sweden?
Oh, like I really got into concerts here in Sweden last year, like metal wise.
Okay.
I started listening to really heavy metal like deathcore and death metal and all of this like I think it was like 2020 2019 somewhere there.
Okay. Okay.
So last year was really when I started to get heavily into the concert stuff and that. But I mean I wasn't saw Cabal, Not
Okay.
Loose, and another. I can't remember the other band name, but I wasn't saw that in Malmö, and
Okay.
then I've been at some shows in Helsingborg, but like it's more up in Stockholm. Most
Okay.
bands play like up in Stockholm there, and in Gothenburg. We don't get that many shows where I live in Skåne, like the most
Okay.
southern part of Sweden.
Okay.
But there has been an increase now.
Okay.
Like Helltown that was on this Friday has
Okay.
started playing. I
Okay.
saw Aviana, Alt, Beneath My Feet last year there, and we also like Slipknot actually played last year in Malmö, which is like the most southern city, big city
Okay.
here in Skåne.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there is like Gothenburg. It's like a 3 hour train ride for me to
Okay.
get there, and there's a lot of shows there that I want to go to, but the train tickets are too expensive. But I was
Okay.
at now in January. I actually was at a 1 day festival there called High Five Winterfest, and
Okay.
there were some really insane bands like To the Grave, Enterprise Earth, Shadow of Intent.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, yeah, I saw that Enterprise Earth. They were doing a European tour not long ago, and they were playing in Sweden too. So
yeah, that
that's
was really awesome. Got to take
yeah.
a picture with him. I can't remember. Travis is his name. Also,
Okay.
took a picture with Ben Jur and talked a little bit with him. So that was really, really awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. He said
That's
they're
awesome.
already working on another album, so that is gonna be interesting too. Like,
Oh yeah,
what's I
yeah.
thinking?
What's
Like,
that? Sorry, it
ah,
kind of cut off.
oh, oh, okay. Yeah, he said that they're working on like an album pretty much laid out like Elegy, but more aggressive, whatever
Oh
that
yeah.
means. So that was
That's awesome.
awesome. But
Yeah.
if you really look into it, I think you can find some more concerts now. But it's all like it's not like one place to get tickets either. It's like a lot of different places that have their own tickets, and maybe it's a lot with marketing too, because some bands and some
Hmm.
venues has doesn't that heavily market that much. So actually, when I saw Cabal, it was just
Okay.
on by fluke that I found like, oh shit, they're playing tomorrow. Like I bought the tickets the day before, and then just
Yeah.
went to see them. So it's much like that too. Like you got to be like really look into all of the different ticket platforms and
Yeah,
see.
exactly. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like it's happening here in the US as well. But I guess like we get so many tours, we get so many shows and people from all around the world touring in the US. Like it sometimes it gets crowded and it takes a lot of precision to actually get like these shows lined up and making sure that you don't have like another show like really close to where you're gonna play. So because then the crowd's gonna be divided into, hey, like some people are going to this show and other people are playing a 15-minute venue, like 15 minutes away from the other show. So you kind of have to like be very like diligent in learning where these bands are gonna play, because if not, then you're gonna miss it,
Oh
because the
yeah,
internet is flooded with bands playing here and there, and it's a lot to keep up with.
oh yeah. I wish there were more like underground metal bands that played here and close to me. I would be at every show. I would be
Yeah,
at
yeah,
every
yeah.
show.
You know what? It's good. That's one thing that US has. Like, US not only hosts big shows, but it has a strong underground scene too. In certain cities, not every city and not every state, but definitely it's very sustainable. And I mean, you can go to New York and you'll find like 40 different venues that actually host underground shows. And it's great to have like 40 different venues that you can go see like underground music.
Has there been like
So,
problems with like since there okay. Has there been problems with like since it's so small venues that it sells
yeah,
out really quickly?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens a lot. Small venues tend to sell out quickly. I guess the smallest venue that you can get into, it's like a 50 people capacity.
Oh
And
wow.
those, yeah, so from 50 to 75 to 250 people, it depends on the venue, but yeah. And sometimes we try to play more during the week rather than the weekends. So
Okay.
we try to go out during the week, and it's usually better because a lot of bigger concerts happen in the weekends, on the
Yeah,
weekends. So
precisely.
we so we try to play more during the week, and and hit different parts, you know, of the East Coast. That's where we're based out of. So we're on the East Coast. So yeah. But yeah, it's great. It's great having. It's very rich here. I don't know how it is in different parts of Europe in the underground scene, but I'm guessing that's why a lot of people move to the US, because there's a lot to do. You
Oh yeah.
know, you know, smaller shows, and you know, you have a lot to choose here.
Yeah, yeah. That was actually one thing that now when you talked about moving to the US, I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of funny too because I had a band called Sentient on the
Okay.
podcast last episode, and they are based in Tokyo, but
Oh,
actually
nice.
they're all like foreigners in
Okay.
Tokyo. So Taylor, that is the vocalist,
Okay.
actually moved from the US to work at his grandfather's uh, company in
Okay.
Tokyo, and then he met the other people in the shows there. That's pretty cool too. I think,
That's
like,
awesome.
I
That's great.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like let me tell you, Japan is a great market, but Japan is very selective of the people they support.
Oh yeah.
So it's a very it's good. It's a great market to go and explore it, but Japan is really, it's a really hard market to get your foot on the door, you know. And I'm guessing it has to do a lot with that people there are very supportive of people that have been doing that for a long time in,
Oh yeah.
you know, in Japan. But if you're going like to go play a show and then come back, that probably work out. But I you know, I can't imagine how hard it must be for them to actually start doing a band in Japan
Oh yeah. He
if they
told
move
me.
from
He
the
told
US.
me that they got pretty successful pretty quickly,
Okay.
and he told me that the other bands was a little bit like, I don't know,
Jealous
jealous,
or
jealous or
didn't like?
cross, but
Okay.
that they hadn't done it long, that they had done it longer and blah blah blah, and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
It makes sense. It's a cultural thing
yeah.
that Japanese people have, but I'm sure like after a while they're gonna get like better and more
Oh yeah,
acceptance
oh
from
yeah,
the people from Japan. You know, as long as they want quality music, so if they're putting out great music and quality visuals and, you know, like putting in the work, I'm sure they're not gonna have any more
oh yeah.
problems there.
It's ambient metalcore, and it
Oh, nice.
sentient are really awesome. Actually, I really
Great.
like them.
I'll look him up. I'll look him up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
awesome.
should totally do that.
Yeah, for sure. It's metalcore. Like I've noticed like Japan, they have a strong metalcore scene up there in Japan. It's very metalcore. They host a lot of festivals and they have a lot of metalcore bands that you wouldn't imagine, you know. So but it's great to see that metalcore is still alive, you know, at the
Yeah.
other side of the world. So here in the US, it comes in waves. Metalcore some years is popping, and then other years is deathcore, other years is slam, you know.
Yeah.
So it fluctuates a lot, but yeah, it's great to see that Japan has a strong metalcore community there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we are definitely excited to actually go to Japan next year. So
Yeah.
that's
That must be
one of,
so cool. Are you going to like
yeah, yeah.
several cities or eh,
Yeah, we're planning to go Tokyo, Shibuya, and another one that I don't can't remember right now, but we're playing three or four cities, three or four different venues in three cities.
oh yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is, like, we're doing that, but actually it's not the planning to actually go there. It's more like the recording aspect of it, because we're planning to shoot a DVD
Yeah.
or some videos of us playing live. So it's more the production aspect of it for us to actually have the people to actually record the show, and so we can have that in our portfolio too. So we want to do like a live video in Japan, and that's the main goal. So
Oh yeah,
that's
that
what we're
must be
working
sick.
towards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely sick. But yeah, that's our goal. And that's what we're working towards. When we go
Yeah.
to Japan, it's more like the visuals and having all the press and media to cover it, and like do it as big as we can do it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
as big as we can make it happen. We're gonna shoot for the stars and see how it goes. So yeah,
So you could say
and it's a
basically your like future plans is to like tour more different like places in the world, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Now that officially, not long ago, all the restrictions have been lifted for a
Yeah.
lot of countries, because most of these countries, they wouldn't allow people to even come in as as to visit or anything. So now that the restrictions has been lifted, like we are actively like planning with promoters up there, and we are going everywhere. Wherever people want us, we're gonna be there. So we're definitely planning on making multiple rounds everywhere. So we just want to spread it everywhere.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, man, we're very committed to this. When I'm telling you, like, we are actually actively working towards doing this, we're gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen and go everywhere we can. Anywhere that people want to see the show, we're gonna be there. We're gonna do anything to make it possible.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will make it happen. I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
People that are as
appreciate
driven
it,
as you are, it just happens.
man.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm lucky to have like a great team that is actually trusting like the vision that we have, and it we can't do any this all of this by ourselves.
Oh,
So we're grateful to our team that is working like really really fucking hard to make a lot of things happen. But it's taking a little longer because you have to think about visas, and now we have to get work visas to if we're gonna make a concert or if we're gonna
mm.
sell tickets or anything. So it's a procedure.
Oh
Like you
yeah.
can't just hop on a plane and do like a big production anywhere without getting in trouble. So
Oh no.
um and obviously, like I said before, it's self-funded. So we are running this 100% independently. So, it's a little bit harder. We're not taking money from a record label or
Oh no.
anything to make it happen.
No, but the
So yeah.
paperwork must be hell. The
No,
pa-
it's just the paperwork. Yeah. And actually we have like a lawyer in staff
oh,
to work
okay.
with all the legal stuff. And so yeah, so
Oh yeah.
whenever we go to those places, like we have like everything covered and doing things like the right way, because we want to come back, like we want to be like sustainable doing this. So once we start doing this, we're not gonna stop. It's not like we're going one time and you're not gonna see us, in 3 years or
Oh
something. We're
yeah.
gonna be like doing this constantly. So yeah, it's expanding from the United States to Europe and Asia.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's a total expansion that
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
planning.
All right. Well, before we end, do you have anything else you want to ask me in particular?
Yeah, man. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing it amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. For those that don't know the project, you can actually go to Spotify, iTunes, anywhere, all the digital platforms you can find my music. You can look it up by searching Violent Horror System or my name, Bryan Dilionnis. And you can catch up my band to An Astonishing End. And I'll send it to you on through Instagram or anything. So if you want to have
Yeah.
like the Spotify, um,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm
of
really
course.
grateful for all the positive feedback that I've gotten for this album. Thank you so much to everyone for the support. And I can't fucking wait to see you all live
Oh yeah.
and hit Europe. And we're working very hard to give you like a top notch show for you guys. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah. well, thank you very much for doing this and being on the podcast. It has been
Yeah,
really fun talking to you, getting all of
yeah,
these
same, man.
insights and information. It was been really awesome. And you
Thank
are
you, man.
more
It's been
than
a pleasure.
welcome to come and play in Sweden. Would love to see you live.
We'll definitely do, man. I'll hit you up whenever we have like a solid date
Yeah.
scheduled. So yeah, and we'll give you tickets, so
Ooh.
you don't have to worry about that. All right,
Yeah. Well, I want
all
to
right.
thank everyone that's watching too. I mean, you make it possible too.
Exactly. No, that's the people that matters. Thank you for supporting.
And yeah, if you did like it, be sure to leave a like on the podcast here and also subscribe to the channel to see more podcasts and reactions. And yeah,
Yeah,
again,
thank you so much, man.
thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next cast here. Peace. All right, there we go.
Awesome.